What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. Today we've got a really fun Total War 1 versus 1 quick battle for you guys. I wish I could show this one to you guys the way that I played it. But first off, you'll see here, I could not see this in the beginning. This is just a crazy army in the back here. And all I could see at the beginning was here in front. So you'll see that we're using the Empire army and we're facing off against the Skaven. And so right off the bat, I'll just go ahead and get into which units we've brought here. So if you look here, we have brought a General of an Empire this time. And so I really want to check him out because I want to see how this Rune Fang's going. So he does have a Rune Fang. It gives you splash attack. It's available every 2 minutes or so for 30 seconds. So it's got about 25% uptime. And it's definitely got a huge splash attack. So I thought that may be helpful against clearing some of those Skaven units, as well as that increased weapon damage and armor piercing will help kind of clear out some of those lords. Besides that, you see we do have him up here on this Imperial Griffon, and that just gives him terror. It makes him super awesome. And he's got pretty good combat stats as well. There in the back, you'll see we've got the two groups of armor piercing greatswords. Those are just there to kind of hold the line and to hopefully cut down, some Rat Ogres or something like that. And in the back here, we've got two groups of flagellants, which should be able to protect my flanks. And since they are unbreakable, they'll fight to the last man. Speaking of unbreakable, we do have Sigmar's Sons here in the front. We've got those regiment-renowned swordsmen, which are also unbreakable, and we've got a couple groups more of swordsmen up here. We've got 4 total, and we do have either 3 bronze chevrons or 1 silver chevron. Although with the changes in in Rise of the Tomb Kings, it's the chevrons don't give them quite as much defense as they. Here for my ranged units, we do have Sterling's Revenge, that free company militia, as well as the silver bullets. And to get that magic damage, we've also got some good armor piercing over here on Sterling's Revenge, so that should help out pretty well. And finally, here in the back for our second Lord, we've got the Grey Wizard. So he is that hero with the Lore of Shadows. We've got Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma. We've got the Penumbral Pendulum, as well as the Withering. So we've finally brought a Power Stone to increase our power reserves and our recharge there. And over here on the right, hidden in the trees, we do have Zentler's Reiksguard, as well as a normal group of Reiksguard. So you see, there is actually a pretty significant difference in stats: 44 melee attack and 36 defense. As well as a little bit of a different in charge bonus. So you see they have a lot less attack and defense, and they're together, those Reiksguard are very strong. So here in the back, let's take a look at this ambushing force of the Skaven. He does have Night Runners. So this is just a ton of Night Runners. And so besides being able to do some range damage, they also have pretty good combat stats, 24 and 22, and they're actually pretty fast as well with 48. I mean, they're not faster than everything on my team, I don't think. I mean, some of these units are actually, they may be faster than everyone on the Empire roster except for my cavalry. Here in the back, he does have 2 groups of gunner riders with poison. Those should help slow down anything and allow this just nasty beatdown squad here with Tretch to get in there and just do some major work on whatever they can catch. I am so lucky I didn't bring any artillery this match. Here on the other side, the other half of the army, you'll see is just nasty big boys. They do have some, right here in the front, just some clan rats with shields, but they have a bunch of these Rat Ogres, and I just love the way Rat Ogres look. They've got those warpstone claws and all sorts of stuff, and they'll just be able to get in there, and they with their 83 weapon strength, armor piercing, and frenzy, they should be able to do some good work. This Plague Priest up here on the bell, he looks like he's got Pestilent Birth, he's got Wither, so he's got a good number of spells over here. But at the same time, as long as you have the right tool for the job, that's what matters. Here in the back, he's got a group of Skaven Slave Spears, and at this point, you see, I'm just completely surrounded. So this is just a great match. I'll just go ahead and show it to you guys, and let's get this battle started. So we're gonna go ahead and start it off here, and you see I don't see these, so we're gonna show you what I see right there. So at this point we're looking like this, and I'm thinking, where the hell are the rest of his units? Okay, well, I'm gonna rip apart these. So you see we've actually got this firing line right through here too. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rip apart these Rat Ogres. We're gonna go ahead and get the Reiksguard here in the back. Well, I'm not sure what's going on, but at this point we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut them to pieces. So, unbeknownst to me, let's give you guys the full view. He is moving in from behind and rages to sandwich me, and I am not ready for that. So you see these Sterling's Revenge are getting some shots off. They're doing some good damage to the Rat Ogres, and those Rat Ogres will take heavy hits. Unfortunately for me though, these swordsmen also took some heavy hits. Those big charges and this group of plague monks here in the back, that's going to do some major work. Oh my god, this is the point when I see it and I am thinking, oh crap, I was thinking I was hiding these Reiksguard, and I have got to get everything in the back. So at this point we've got these flagellants and they're coming out here, but as I already showed you, they're much slower than these Night Runners. So and plus that poison, they're just going to get cut right down. Here on the other flank, those silver chevron swordsmen are cut down. You see we've got another group of swordsmen cut down, and they really did not do very well over here. Luckily for me though, we did get, I think, one penumbral pendulum in, and it was able to do some pretty good work. It was right here in the back, and it actually, if you see here, it did some pretty good work on these Night Runners. Didn't catch as many as I would like, but you see our Reiksguards coming in here, and when they get in here, they're going to take those Night Runners to pieces. While the Night Runners have a little bit of combat stats, they're not going to be able to fight those anti-infantry Reiksguard. That kind of allows the flagellants to get in here. You see there, and another group of Reiksguard here in the back are going to get in, and they're going to also get into those gutter runners with poison. So at this point, all around the back is just a massive cat and mouse game with the Night Runners and the Reiksguard, and you know, I'm not sure they'll be able to do that much damage against my Reiksguard. Here in the front lines though, I'm really having some trouble. So you see the silver bullets, everyone, I tried to kind of pull everyone through. Luckily for me, Sterling's Revenge can do some melee fighting. But at this point, it's just great swords left. Swordsmen, of course, Sigmar's Sons, because they're unbreakable, but we've got one group of great swords, Sterling's Revenge, and one group of Sigmar's Sons. So that's pretty much it for our frontline troops. Those swordsmen were evaporated, but at the same time, we are starting to cut things down. We've got our Grey Wizard in here. You see we've got another big, oh, I missed it, that Penumbral Pendulum here in the back was able to do some good damage to those gutter runners. You see here in the way back, we've got these Reiksguard just attacking whoever we can. I mean, we've got some flagellants here fighting against Tretch Craventales. Unluckily for me, these Night Runners are just shooting me right in the back, and they're gonna cut those unarmored flagellants to pieces if they shoot them in the shoot them like that. Here in the midst of the battle, we've still got Sigmar's Sons holding on, and we are fighting it out. We've got the Charm Shield on our General of the Empire, and we're going to use that to kind of just protect us. So he's shooting at the General of the Empire, but we were taking a lot less damage than we should have. But we have activated our Foe Seeker, and we got to get out of there, because I noticed I was surrounded, and I do have a few units here that are going to start coming back from route. We've got the silver bullets here, and we see I've also got Sterling's Revenge, and we've got this firing line going. So they're going to start just shooting in here. I've got them aiming at the Rat Ogres, I believe. Let's go ahead and take a look. Yeah, and we're just going to be shooting right into that mix of units. We're going to go ahead and try to reform over here on the left. We've got our General of the Empire flying. And here in the flank, actually, the Reiksguard have actually dealt with two groups of these gutter runners. They're up to 64 kills and 123 kills on Zintlers. And they're actually doing okay. Also, Tretch is over here fighting these flagellants, and you know, for me, that's going to do a pretty good damage. I don't want Tretch anywhere near these units, so hopefully I can, do whatever I can to kind of, oh man, there's a good shot. You see that? Oh man, Pestilent Breath right into Sterling's Revenge, and after that, you see, we're going to get some charges in there, and I think that's going to break them right off the field. But I've still got a Grey Wizard. I've still got General of the Empire, so I'm doing okay. Although he is kind of surrounded, we have activated Runefang. So let's go ahead and get in here. You're going to see them all in here. We've got the General of the Empire fighting. He's going to do damage. And at this point, you see he is actually going to break off. So that Terror is doing its work. With the Grey Wizard here together with these Clan Rats, the Rat Ogres breaking off, that leaves this Plague Priest all by himself. And I have actually decided, look at that, we've got one Sigmar's Son over here just standing. He is the Sigmar's Son, man. He is ready to fight. But at the same time, we're taking heavy shots from these Night Runners while we're trying to get these Zintlers Reiksguard here in the back. And I think we're not going to catch that, but we are going to go ahead and get around this Plague Priest. And those Reiksguard will do some good damage to that Plague Priest as well. Even, you know, they do have 40 weapon strength, so they're actually able to break this Plague Priest off. And at this point, I know that the General of the Empire is the key to this match. We've still got the Grey Wizard here, but we are out of Winds of Magic, and we're just going to have to keep these Reiksguard and these groups of Zintler's Reiksguard back and forth. We take an overarching look, you'll see the balance of power has been shifting. I mean, it got really low against me. I've only got 111 units left, but we're still going to fight it out to the end. I mean, I love fighting with these Reiksguard and with those heavy units, and so we're just going to go ahead and give it a try. You see there, we'll get a charge, and they're going to get right into the back, and you'll see those units of Night Runners go flying. We've got a second group of Night Runners routing off over here, and if we look, you'll see that, you know, most of those Rat Ogres were actually killed, and so they're going to rout off as well. You see here in the back, we've got Tretch, and he's kind of solo on his own, and we've got our solo Flagellant chasing him. So we have our one, I mean, this was just so much fun. I had one Flagellant at one point, I had one... one of Sigmar's sons. I had this Grey Wizard over here got surrounded, so he was pretty much out of it. But we've actually managed to group up. We've broken off Tretch, and at this point we're going to go ahead and just keep using these cavalry to charge in here. I mean, all that's left is Gutter Runners and Night Runners, and while they do still have some ammo, we've got to be very careful because we do not want to get blasted by that range unit too much more. You'll actually see him cast a Wither there. He's got it on all of our units. But luckily for me, I'm still going to be able to keep getting in here, cyclocharging some of these Reiksguard out. And the Zintler's Reiksguard are able to keep standing their ground. I mean, they're a little bit stronger. And so, you know, I'm able to kind of use them to hold the line while everyone else chases in here. We've got the General of Empire got in the back there, was able to chase off that Plague Priest. And when he gets in here with Runefang activated, he immediately routs everyone off the field now. But that is just because there's just such low leadership. I mean, with Tretch and the Plague Priest down, that brings it almost to half. But he has so many units remaining. He still has 430 units. My like 64 units. I mean, we've got a couple of Reiksguard over here, and at this point I really want to make sure that Tretch doesn't come back. So I'm going to use my one unit of Reiksguard over here to kind of chase off Tretch while I dodge back and forth with this General of the Empire and go ahead and charge this other group of Zintlers right into these group of Gutter Runners. So you see they do have the, oh sorry, those are the Night Runners. So you see we do get in here, we're up to 212 kills, and we're going to go ahead and sandwich them with that General of the Empire, Foe Seeker, he's got Stand Your Ground, and we are able to break this group of Night Runners also. At the same time, there's two more groups of Night Runners that are back. Look at that Plague Priest shattered, I love that. So you see these two groups of Night Runners are back, and at this point they're going to start firing again at my General of the Empire. I mean, I'm going to take some heavy hits. He's down to 470 health. And if I lose that General, I don't think there's anything I can do. Here in the back, we've managed to kill Tretch. You can see his body there on the ground, surrounded by these Reiksguard, and that is really going to help us out. But that brings it a little bit more in our favor. These Reiksguard are going to come back. And since all of his leadership is completely demolished now, you know, I think that's pretty much just starting to rout all of his troops. He still has to have one group of Clan Rats with shields over here, but that unit of Clan Rats with shields is not going to be able to do much against Reiksguard or Zintlers. I mean, at this point, Zintlers has 240 kills. This group of Reiksguard 150, and we are still alive over here. We've still got this General of the Empire, and I mean, he's so terrifying, even though he's only got, oh man, 400 health, 300 health, and at that point, that is when I like pretty much lost it. It was, it comes right back to even. You see these Gutter Runners with poison, they just take out my General of the Empire. It was just so nasty. But at the same time over here, we do have this group of Clan Rats with shields, and we're going to see just bloody cavalry units charge in, break those Clan Rats with shield, and at the same time, we're going to keep trying to kill them. I mean, I'm charging in here, I'm trying to kill as many of these Clan Rats. You see the numbers are dropping, 54, 53, I mean, we're trying to kill as many of them as possible, while at the same time, I am praying that we get our General of the Empire back. We do get the General of the Empire back. There's only a few units left. I mean, at this point, I've got 40 units, and it's 190, and I'm terrified of these Gutter Runners and this Night Runner. So I'm like bouncing. I use my foe seeker. I'm flying to the rear here. We've managed to break those clan rats. I figured I killed enough of them. Their health was almost gone, so I knew there wasn't going to be much left. And it is in for this final charge. At this point, it's just me against, like, you know, a few Skaven range units. I am just astounded that they are able to keep staying on the field. But at the same time, they're here, and I mean, they'll do some damage. Let's go ahead and follow these guys in here. We'll go ahead and see what happens. Oh man, there is just a massive charge. And you'll see the second group. They're going to charge into the back here. We're just doing some major damage. If you pull it out, you'll see that the general of the Empire was chased right into the back of this group here. And that is going to be the end of it. So, I mean, you saw that we were able to pull back. I mean, he really, once we got those Rat Ogres off the field, he was not able to deal with those Reiksguard. And we weren't really cycle charging. We weren't being awful people. We were really just kind of using our units to get around the field and, you know, use the best of our ability. We take a look at this post-game wrap-up. I mean, you see there those flagellants, we got just demolished in the beginning. Luckily for me, though, they were unbreakable, so they still were able to get in there. They were able to hold Tretch in place, actually, on his own, which is why he has 70 kills. That's probably all flagellants. And, you know, that was okay for me. It ended up working out. I mean, even though we did lose a lot of units, we ended up, you know, pulling it out okay, I guess. Here in the front line, you saw those swordsmen. I mean, they just got wrecked. They got completely crushed. You know, with the abilities and spells that the Plague Priest brought, that Wither, as long as those huge charges from those three groups of Rat Ogres, those charges were able just to wreck those swordsmen. I mean, there was some Pestilent Breath, there was Wither, there was Rat Ogres, and those swordsmen were just not cut out for this battle. Besides that, I mean, even though these three groups didn't, those unbreakable Sigmar Sons, 150 kills. So they were in there fighting off whatever was remaining. You see the Skaven slaves, I mean, he had a couple of clan rats, but overall, I mean, 150 kills on Sigmar Sons was pretty good. That unbreakable trait is really helpful. And I guess in this game, the shields were helpful as well. We've also got the 2 units of greatswords, and they were really just there to kill Rat Ogres and do their good work. One group held, one group didn't, but at the same time, you know, without them, I don't think we would have been able to pull it off. But for all there was, I didn't do very well with the silver bullets, Sterling's Revenge. I mean, the fact that we got ambushed from behind, I tried to pull them through, it didn't really work out. I missed a lot of those penumbral pendulums and the mail costs, but I mean, our Grey Wizard was really helpful. 100 kills, and that was a lot of that was on those Night Runners and Gutter Runners. And I think it really helped that they had lost those models when it came later in the game. You'll see the big stars of the show, 270 kills on Zentler's Reiksguard, 204. They still had plenty of health. This group had chevroned up twice already, and I mean, that was the major thing. The fact that we kept that general of the Empire alive so long, we were able to use that Rune Fang, we were able to use the anti-ranged and the ward save there that removes range damage as well as regular damage. So that ward save was super helpful. It allowed me to stay alive in a couple different places where I think without it I would have probably died. And I mean, overall it was just a blast. Look at Wriggleback's army. You see 122 kills on this group of clan rats, 105 here. I mean, these clan rats were just killing. They just did a ton of damage, and I think that's because these units, the range units really just take health off. They don't normally get as many kills, and then these units were able just to get in there and clean up the kills on those low health units. The Plague Priest 73, Tretch was 70. I mean, just overall spread across all of his things. I mean, he almost killed all my units. I only had 102 units remaining, while he had 432. But I was able to kill his important units. I was able to kill his hero, his lord. I was able to kill those Rat Ogres, get them off the field. And overall, it was just a great battle, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this battle for more great online content. This is Black Iron, and this has been another one of Black Iron's battles.